Hi there, thank you so much for joining me. This is Julie DiMatteo from thepaperpixie.com, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the US. And in today's video tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make this really cool diagonal closure treat box that perfectly holds a Ferrero Rocher. My inspiration for this project came from fellow German demonstrator Britta Tim. Her blog is called Stampin Art, and she had a version of this in metric measurements, also slightly larger. So I made it smaller. This is about 1.5 inches square, and it's super fun and easy to put together. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start with a piece of Foil Frenzy Specialty Designer Series paper. This is a gorgeous pack of papers that come in Tangerine Tango, Berry Burst, Lemon Lime Twist, and Soft Sky with some really pretty foil patterns. And this piece that we're going to use measures 4.5 inches by 7 inches. And along the short side, we're going to go ahead and score this at 1.5 inches and 3 inches. And I'm going to rotate it to the long side and score this at 1.5, 3, 4.5, and 6. I first want you to go ahead and fold and burnish on all of the score lines. And then you'll notice that we have one section up here that is only about 1 inch wide, while the rest of these sections are 1.5 inches square. So that's going to be the top of our box. That's going to be the flap that flips down, and that's going to help us figure out where we need to do some cutting away. I want to bring in the template here. So if you can picture, this is the short section up at the top. That's where our little rounded flap is going to come down. So I'm going to start on the top section. So let's go ahead and rotate this. And I'm going to cut up these two center sections, cutting upwards till the second score line. So just using my paper snips, I'm going to go ahead and do that. And again, we cut up both center score lines, stopping at that second horizontal score line. Now we're going to remove these, but leave behind about 3/8 to 1/2 inch of a tab here. So it looks like that. And I'm just going to go ahead and notch those in. And I've just eyeballed those. We just need enough to put some tear and tape to form the box. Now I'm going to rotate this. And now we're going to cut up those two center score lines, but stop at the first horizontal score line. Then we'll do the same thing, cut them away, but leave behind about 3/8 to 1/2 inch. And then I'm going to notch those tabs in. Okay, next we're going to go ahead and round the corners of that top flap, and I'm just going to use the reverse punch on the envelope punch board. Next, we're going to do some diagonal score lines. So grab your stylus from your Simply Scored. I like to use the smaller ball tip here. And we're going to score in these two outside squares. We're going to score from this middle intersection. So middle intersection here. Score from this corner to the opposite corner of these two squares. So just picture that we're scoring outwards from this middle intersection to the opposite corner of the square. Now what I find easiest to do here is to take my stylus and place that right where I want it to start, then bring in my ruler, and you want to make sure you leave room here for the ball tip of the stylus. So take that into consideration when you go to score. And then we're going to just score on the diagonal. We're going to do that on all 4 of those outside squares. Okay, now I think you can see those diagonal score lines. So now what we're going to do is on the back side, I'm just going to pinch on those score lines, and then we'll reinforce them with the bone folder. All right, so now we can see those score lines a little bit better. Now we're going to do a little bit of cutting away. I'm going to cut in here and cut away these little triangles, leaving behind about 1/4 inch, and that's going to allow this box to close with the diagonal closure. So I'm just going to come in and I'm leaving behind again about 1/4 inch, cutting up to that center score line here. And I'll repeat on the other side. And it's going to look like that. So you can see we've got this little bit of 1/4 inch section here that's left behind, and then we removed this triangle. That's going to allow the box to close and still fit the Ferrero Rocher in there. Now in other tutorials, I've seen a circle punch used, but I actually like how this looks much better. It's total preference though. So go ahead and do the same thing, leave behind about 1/4 inch. And there we go. That's what our template looks like. So all the cutting and scoring is done. Now it's time to put the box together. I'm going to take tear and tape adhesive and run that along all 4 of the tabs we created. And I'm putting the tear and tape right up to the score line. Okay, now before we adhere those tabs, let's go ahead and put our magnet closure on here. I have a pair of 8 by 1 millimeter magnets that I purchased from Spider Magnets on eBay. And I'm going to first take a mini glue dot, use my paper piercer, pick up a glue dot, stick that to the back of one of the magnets, and then place that magnet where we want it on the back of this rounded flap. And now we're going to go ahead and on the opposite side of the paper, take the other magnet and gently drop it there. It's going to perfectly line up the right positive and negative side. Then I'm going to grab a glue dot, stick it to that second magnet we just stuck on there. And then I'm going to fold up this bottom flap. I'm using my score lines to help me line this up exactly. So I'm folding on the second score line from the top and then that first score line from the bottom. And then go ahead and pick up that magnet on the outside and it's going to place that right where we want it to go. It's just a little trick for you and it's easier to do this to line up the magnets before the box is put together. So now it's time to put the box together. Take off the tear and tape and then we're going to line up this cut edge with this score line to start to form our box sides. And now just repeat that on all 4 tabs. All right, so the box is now together. You'll see how that's going to line up there. How cool is that box? So let's go ahead and put in our Ferrero Rocher. It's going to fit right in there for us. We can close the box. I'm going to do a little ribbon bow decoration here using our Berry Burst metallic edge ribbon. This is a beautiful ribbon that coordinates really nicely with this Foil Frenzy paper. I'm just going to do a quick bunny ears bow. There's that cute bow. We're going to stick some glue dots to the back of it, one behind the knot and one on the back side of either loop. That'll prevent our little bow from slipping, and then we'll place that right on the front of the box. And voila, there is our little diagonal closure treat box that is 1.5 inches square and perfectly holds a Ferrero Rocher. I had so much fun creating this box. I did it in multiple colors. So we've got our lemon lime twist version here, soft sky, and then berry burst. How cute is that? Super quick and easy to make. You can actually get 3 of these out of one 12 by 12 piece of paper. You will have some paper left over, but it's a great project to make multiples of. So thank you so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel so you don't miss my next video. If you're in the US and you're interested in purchasing any of the Stampin' Up! Products I used today, they'll be linked in the description. I'll also include a link to my detailed blog post with all project details and measurements. I'd love to have you come visit me at thepaperpixie.com where I post projects every weekday to inspire you. And I have options to subscribe to both my daily blog updates as well as my newsletter. I'd love to welcome you as a new subscriber. You can shop with me anytime in the US at thepaperpixie.com/shop. And if you're interested in joining my team of Paper Pixies, you can always join my team at thepaperpixie.com/join. Thanks again for watching. I hope you have a wonderful and blessed day. Take care. Bye.